This is some background information for you on the Diary of Anne Frank. You're going to need your two pieces of paper that say Diary of Anne Frank, background information in front of you. Also, please take out something to write with. Before we begin, these topics are very sensitive. Lots of innocent lives are lost. Of course, I expect maturity and respect. And definitely don't make me do a major consequence for you. I want to introduce Adolf Hitler. A lot of you guys have heard of Hitler. This is the dude that we talk about when we say Hitler. He's Austrian born. He was a German politician. Joined the German army in World War I. He's the leader of the Nazi Party, and he was a dictator from 1933 to 1945. What was Hitler's reason for causing World War II? He had two main reasons: to rule the world. Yes, he was an obnoxious, egotistical tyrant, and also to make all conquered people the slaves to the master German race. He felt like Germans were the best people and that everybody else was less. He wanted to create a pure race or Aryan race, built of people who represented a certain type of person, certain type of look, certain type of background. Casualty, you have on your paper. Define casualty. Remember, you don't need to take all these words down, just parts of them. A member of the armed services lost to service through death, wounds, sickness, capture, or because his or her whereabouts cannot be determined. Define genocide: the planned killing of an entire racial or cultural group of people. So imagine if somebody killed all white people, or killed all Mexicans, or killed all Chinese people. This is what genocide is: a certain racial or cultural group. The killing of, that is. How were the Jews treated prior to being held in death camps? So he sent his army, Hitler sent his army to harass Jews, to steal their possessions, their things, and to force them into slavery and to starve them. This right here is an example of a star that Jewish people had to wear to identify themselves as such. How many Jews were killed? About 6 million. Jewish men, women, and children were killed. Here's an example of what the bunkers look like. These would be the beds that they slept on at the camps. And it's kind of ironic to call them camps because they weren't fun at all. Here's another example of, it looks like Jewish people being talked to by possibly Nazis or people running the camp. How were the Jews killed? Through many different ways: starved, tortured, shot, gassed, burned to death. This would be an example of a room that they put them in, and they would have gas. They would turn on gas, and gas would seep from the ceilings and kill everybody in the room. Define Holocaust. This is a fire that causes total destruction. Basically, when you hear the term Holocaust, the average person would think of the killing of all these Jews in the 1930s and 40s. It just means total destruction. Name other victims of World War I. 5 million other people who were not Jewish were also said to have died because of this. Russians, Poles or Polish people, Czechs from Czechoslovakia, Slavs, Gypsies, homosexuals or gays, people with disabilities, other religious or political beliefs. So basically anybody that was different or seemingly different, um, they did not have an easy time during this time. What's the difference between a Nazi and a German? I get this question a lot. A German person is from Germany, and Nazis are people who joined the Nazi party and were from all over Europe. This is the German flag, and this is the Nazi flag. Who was Anne Frank? She was a German Jewish girl who fled, means left, from Germany when Hitler came to power. And where did she hide? She took refuge, meaning shelter, protection, in Amsterdam. That's in the country of Holland. They remained shut in a hidden Amsterdam apartment called the Secret Annex. This is an example of what it would look like. It might actually be the exact one. Very small, very cramped, very dark. And they hid there for 2 years. How long did she hide? 2 years. She went into hiding when she was 13 years old, so about your age. Why is her diary so important? Why do we study it? 2 main reasons. Her readers get a first-hand look at how evil people are and how good people are. Also, Hitler and his Nazis were cruel and evil, and many good, unselfish people helped the Jews hide and risked their lives in doing so. This looks like a picture out of her diary. This is a picture of her. And after reading this background information on Anne Frank, discuss the significance of the following quote taken from the end of her diary. I just want you on your paper to just write a little bit about why this quote is important or why this kind of stands out to you as significant. I'm going to go ahead and read it. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.